Hi, I'm Melanie Traughber. I'm the head of the Innovation and Clinical Research team at HOPPR. I've spent about 25 years in medical devices, primarily focusing on medical imaging, and am incredibly excited to be here transforming what medical imaging can do in the community. I think the benefit of the HOPPR platform is that the potential speed of translation is on the order of weeks rather than months or even years. HOPPR's foundation model can be fine-tuned to perform a clinical task with a relatively small amount of data, which is usually what an academic institution has access to. Starting with the foundation models allows clinical applications to be trained faster, and like I said, on significantly less data. Because the HOPPR Foundation model is trained on an enormous amount of real-world data, it surpasses what can be easily accessed by an individual academic institution. On the HOPPR platform, clinical applications can be built and iterated quickly to optimize the outputs for clinical purposes that depend on the clinical images, reports, and associated patient information. And it can, again, do this on a limited amount of data because the foundation model has already been trained on this enormous amount of clinical data. It starts with clearly understanding the clinical problem that needs to be solved and what part AI can realistically play in that solution. The goal is to get clinically useful solutions in the hands of providers to help patients. But because this field is evolving so quickly, the pace at which this needs to happen can be enabled in a few ways that I think HOPPR has really tried to deliver to our collaborators. Really, the goal is to start with standardized tools built with full traceability. This brings significantly less complication during validation, and that can be very helpful when trying to gain internal certification for clinical use, as well as external regulatory clearance for potential commercial use. So going from a research tool to an in-house clinical tool and then to a commercial product requires increasing levels of verification and validation. And starting with a tool that already has a certain level that has been built in and has full traceability is going to help make that a faster process. Translational research has everything to do with the cross-disciplinary collaboration, particularly when new technologies are in their nascency. It's critically important to define the problem that you're trying to solve. And this takes an entire team that is well respected and has a great amount of expertise across the entire spectrum of development. Here at HOPPR, we have a team that works across the entire spectrum from the research tooling all the way up to commercialization, starting from the ML engineers and R&D to clinical researchers that have done quite a bit of translational research in medical imaging and AI, and also the medical directors who are practicing radiologists that are our sounding board for clinical input as needed. It spans the entire translational research spectrum, but it also makes sure that we're asking the right technical and clinical questions, and that when we need to, we can reach out to our academic counterparts and have those conversations with them on the same level that we need to. And in addition, and I think this is critically important, we challenge each other to approach the problem from the perspective of other disciplines. Oftentimes, the clinical need gets lost in the technical solution that engineers try to implement. And it's very important to make sure that that clinical need is never lost and that clinical problem is ultimately what we're trying to solve. Given the resources required to build clinically relevant AI solutions, the academic to industry partnerships will be critical, not only in the dissemination of new technologies, but also in their development. The tools that allow for rapid prototyping and standardized assessment of models will eliminate transfer of suboptimal solutions to the clinical setting. This will enable translational research to happen much faster and keep up with the way that the field is evolving and get our solutions to patients much faster. Thanks so much for listening. I look forward to collaborating with you if you're interested in this space and have more questions about what HOPPR can offer and how we can translate some research together. Please follow me on LinkedIn, follow HOPPR on LinkedIn, and we can continue the conversation there.